What if I told you Martin Luther King Jr. might have survived the gunshot, but died under suspicious circumstances in the hospital? And what if his death, and the deaths of other powerful black leaders, wasn't random, but part of a secret government plan? COINTELPRO and the deaths of black leaders. The government's hidden hand. COINTELPRO, short for Counterintelligence Program, was a covert operation run by the FBI from the 1950s to the 1970s. Its goal? To surveil, infiltrate, discredit, and neutralize subversives, including civil rights leaders, anti-war activists, and black liberation groups. J. Edgar Hoover called Martin Luther King Jr. the most dangerous man in America. Not because King was violent, but because he inspired millions to think differently. April 4, 1968, Memphis, Tennessee. Martin Luther King Jr. is shot while standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel. He's rushed to St. Joseph's Hospital, barely alive. But this is where the story takes a dark and often overlooked turn. In a 1999 civil trial brought by the King family, shocking testimony emerged. A Memphis firefighter claimed he overheard a white doctor in the emergency room say, "Let that NR die." Now that SOB is going to get what's coming to him. The implication? Dr. King may not have died from the bullet, but from neglect, or even intentional harm. Once he arrived at the hospital, Lloyd Jowers, a restaurant owner near the crime scene, testified that James Earl Ray was not the killer. He claimed the shot came from behind his restaurant, and that government agents were involved. The jury ruled in favor of the King family. Martin Luther King Jr. was the victim of a conspiracy, not a lone gunman. Yet the mainstream media barely covered it. King wasn't the only one. Malcolm X, assassinated after splitting with the Nation of Islam and becoming more globally focused. Fred Hampton, killed in his sleep during a police raid, with help from an FBI informant. One by one, black leaders who united people, who challenged capitalism, racism, and war, were eliminated. And in the background, the fingerprints of COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO didn't just spy. It used forged letters to pit leaders against each other. It planted informants, spread lies, drove people to paranoia and fear. Even King's closest allies received anonymous letters urging him to kill himself. Yes, the FBI tried to make MLK commit suicide. Why target these leaders? Because they had the power to inspire real change. They could unite poor black and white Americans. They could stop wars. They could shift the balance of power. The government couldn't let that happen. They told us it was a lone gunman. They said King died instantly. They said COINTELPRO was over. But the truth? It never really ended. So now we ask you, was this the cost of truth? And who's really writing the history we're told to believe? Stay awake. Stay questioning. Because the truth is always deeper than they want you to know.